Hello everyone, welcome to this video. And this video is very interesting because we are talking about a topic which is not very well discussed in 62443 community or even in the trainings which I do as part of ISA certified courses of 32, 33, 34, 37. The reason why we generally don't discuss is that these are little deep concepts in 62443 and requires a level of maturity to digest these concepts. Now, what are these concepts? So we are talking about the concepts like SPR or SPS in 62443 2-2. Now 2-2 is a bridge between the policies, the policymakers, and the technical controls on the ground. How these controls are practiced at the factory level, and how the policies or the people who are making policies should measure the effectiveness of these controls, because finally the controls are being defined by these policies. So if you check in this slide deck, we have an MNC, a manufacturing company with multiple different locations, maybe same country or different country, multiple different locations. And let's say that each of these factories have their own defined Purdue enterprise reference architecture. Now we have seen in the previous videos where I was discussing about zones and conduit, security levels, types of security levels, all those things. But these are mostly technical controls. Now, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, where technical controls are just 33.33% in the total set of controls. Rest of the 66.66% is still to be covered. And all of these together make a holistic cyber security protection scheme, or we call it as SPS in 2-2. So these SPS should be implemented on each zone like we implement SLs. It seems to be confusing at this moment, where we have SLs also, SPS also. SLs are subset of SPS or security protection scheme. SPS is security protection scheme. I'll explain that when we go to our remarkable. For each SPS, we need a rating or a measurement scheme that is called as SPR or security protection rating. All of these again contribute for effective SP or security program. So we have three concepts here: SP, security program. Previously, in the previous version of 2-1, it was called as CSMS. Now in 2-1 2024, we call it as SP, and we have 8 security program elements or SPEs in 2-1 version 2024. Now, when we say SPS, it includes technical controls and all other administrative and physical controls also, which are listed in various other documents of 62443. So SPS is an effort to see a holistic picture of administrative, technical, and physical controls. So let's understand this. Go to Remarkable by going to let's see that. Let's say we have a factory, or let's take an example of one factory. L3.5, this is your DMZ, and we have L3. I'll not draw below L3. If we know that anything below is completely an OT environment or IACS environment. And here we have multiple zones. Let's say this is one of the zone. These are multiple zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. So when we are performing assessments, typically cybersecurity communities in OT environment, they speak about 3-2 and 3-3, quickly jump onto risk assessments. Yes, that is the correct way to start, but an incomplete way, because we also have to include the administrative and physical controls, which honestly, if I had to give my honest opinion, at this moment I have not seen an asset owner who is at this maturity level to include the administrative and physical controls also while designing a plant. Most probably the policies are not existing, not even the team is existing. People talk a lot about holistic cybersecurity. To achieve this, it takes at least a couple of years. So here, as per 3-2, let's say we started with the high-level risk assessments and detailed risk assessment. Before that, we conclude our zones and conduits and perform detailed risk assessment, and we fix or set our security levels. Now, I'm speaking in terms of security level targets. Why? Because I'm taking the viewpoint of asset owner and also the service provider who is assisting asset owner at this moment. So we have set security level targets for each of them. We have set security level target for each of them. How do we select the controls? When we are saying that we have to meet the security level targets, now security level targets in the zones are set for an asset. The definition of asset includes people, process, and technology. Remember this. We have discussed this, and that's why it is called as IACS, not ICS or OT. We call it as IACS. However, the controls which we have to take to address this risks which are identified when we are setting up this security level target, these controls are not just listed in 3-3. 3-3 is one of the documents, which means if I have to build a strategy to secure these zones and of course conduits as well, then I need to include the controls from other documents as well. And that's what is called as security protection scheme. That means there is a security protection scheme for each of these zones. Let's say that there is a SPS for this zone, there is an SPS for this zone, and there is an SPS for this zone. Now these are strategic in nature. Why? When we say SPS, we are including, I'll not write IEC just to make it short, we are including 62443 2-1, 62443 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 3-1, 3-2, 4-1, and of course, now 4-1, remember, this is for OEMs. But even that has to go, those details or requirements can be taken from those documents that can go in your RFP language. All these contribute to the SPS. So if I want to make it simpler, now all these documents, let me copy that. All these documents will contribute to SPS, Security Protection Scheme, strategic in nature. Remember, SPS for each of the zone. Right. Different zone might have different requirements. These SPS again will be including security levels, target. These security levels again will be on, of course, zones and conduits, and that's where our story starts with assessment phase. So just not SLT is included in SPS, we also have some of the other controls, let's say from the patch management 2-3. Now SPS also depends on 7 foundational requirements for defining the goals. But when we read this document 2-2, it covers 2 of the important aspects. The first one is technical controls or technical measures taken from 3-3, and then the administrative / policy wise measures taken from other documents. Let's say 2-1, 2-3, as I mentioned. So this protection scheme has to be measured. So this protection scheme also have security protection rating. And to have security protection rating, now we can combine 2 of these, and this is what has to be measured generally, not security level target generally, but this is what we have to measure when we are measuring our effectiveness of our SP or security program. What is this? Security protection rating. We can define the 2 graphs. We clean it up. As I mentioned, when it comes to 2-1, we are talking about maturity levels. When it comes to 3-3 and 3-2, we are talking about SLs. So we can define SL1, SL2, SL3, SL4, and here ML1, ML2, ML3, ML4. Now this is very specific to the organization. There is no standardized way to do this. So you have to discuss this internally with the risk management teams, and then you need to define that this can be SPR 0. This can also be SPR 0. This can be SPR 0 as well. This can be SPR 1. This can be SPR 1. This can be SPR 2. I'm just putting in numbers, but this has to be discussed. And now the SPRs, based on the number of goals you have selected out of 7 foundational requirements, you can have a graph on that how your SP is maturing. This is your SP graph. Security program basically is maturing. This is how we can define a way to strategize the implementation of controls on each of the zones for long term, which can contribute for the effective 2-1, and also a way to measure it. security program ratings. Now security levels are included in the SPS or security protection scheme, so it is inclusive, so we are not leaving it behind. This concept is very, very important concept if we want to realize an effective security program. Just having security level targets are not sufficient, as mostly they are influenced by technical controls. How to measure the administrative and physical controls or policies is something which is given in 62443 2-2. We will cover this, by the way, we are covering this in detail in the certification programs of 62443 in IC 37. I generally discuss about it. On 32 also covers this. But anyways, we are also going to make an elaborated program on this or video series on this, where we are going to cover in more detail how to do this. At ICS Bit Labs, we have green hydrogen plant setup, where we regularly do research and development on these topics. These are not straightforward to understand, but yes, enough literature is given in these documents where we can make out, or we can join the dots and we can come to conclusion how to implement all these systems. These are basically systems. That's all for this video. It's a pretty long video. Thank you and see you in next video.